All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Jonah from Major Minor. I'm doing an interview with Heyoka's Mirror about their new album that just got released, The Uninvited King. So how are you guys doing today?
Doing really good.
Doing great. Nice Saturday. Weather is super nice. And just
Busy
enjoying.
day. Busy day.
Busy day. Yeah.
Now enjoying a beverage.
How have you guys been with this whole last year as a band?
Oh, it's been quite interesting. We've been just recording.
Yeah.
Right. We started recording at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
I feel we started for 2018.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic started. Everyone was freaking out. But we weren't planning on doing any live shows. We were really just planning on being at the studio. So I feel like it was all good. And we just released a couple of music videos and recorded, and that's it.
Cool. Could you guys introduce yourselves, just the two of you?
Yeah. My name is Andrew Balboa, and I'm a singer, keyboardist, and some back rhythm guitars.
My name is Omar Sultan. I do the rhythm guitars and lead guitars.
Cool. So we're just talking about how COVID's affected things. Do you guys find the writing easier since there aren't really the shows as a distraction, or do you think, at least in your history, the shows have been more of a motivator to write and kind of push yourself when you have deadlines?
Well, I think for us, we were not doing shows anyway since the end of 2018 for many reasons. But we weren't doing that. And then we started writing and focusing on that. When the pandemic started, we had no other option. So we had less things to do. So we just decided, okay, we're just going to get this done. So all of the pandemic last year, we were busy recording by ourselves and, going to the studio if we could, depending on restrictions and all that stuff. So
yeah, were there any
Sorry?
Were there any roadblocks that came up involving COVID with like studio time and all that sort of thing?
Studio time was the biggest thing because we could do so much on our own, and then we're ready to go to the studio and do the work there. So when the restrictions were there, we couldn't really get studio time, and then as it eased up a little bit, then we were able to sneak in a few days and get that done.
We lost like 4 months of studio time because of COVID. Like I said earlier, right? We spent pretty much all of 2020 recording the album, but it's not like we spent 12 months recording the album.
No,
it was just because there were these super long periods of time where we could just do nothing because of the restrictions.
Right.
And so, yeah,
it sounds frustrating. When you did finish the album, though, since it kind of took a lot longer than probably expected, what did that sort of feel like? Was it a good relief, and what parts of the album were you most proud of once it was all said and done?
I think as a whole we're pretty proud of everything, but in the end, I just remember we just we really couldn't believe it, especially when the physical CDs arrived. We opened them, and then we sort of looked at each other and we said, well, now what?
That's it. It's done, right?
That's it.
It's finally done.
But yeah, it was, then we released it, finally started to get some feedback and interaction with people. And then, the feedback has been really positive. So now it feels more of a real thing. And it was a long road, It was our first one, but it was a long road to get the whole thing done.
Yeah.
Pretty excited, pretty happy now that it's done.
Yeah. So once shows do come back, what songs on the album are you most excited to play on stage?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm excited for, more than excited. I don't think that's the right word. We're more maybe scared, nervous.
I'm scared about a couple songs.
I'm nervous about a couple songs too, right? Because of course, one thing is going to the studio and you do take after take, and you want to get that perfect take, right? But then live, you only get one take. You fuck it up, that's it. It's done.
That's kind of part of the fun, though, eh?
Yeah,
it is fun.
The
but
adrenaline.
of course, I'm excited for the King of Deception.
King of Deception, and that's the thing with that song is that we've never played that one live. The other songs on the album, we've played a bunch of them live, like The Darkness Within. So speaking of The Darkness, that's what I'm excited to play, just because people are just loving that one song.
Yeah.
And, it's a different, I think it would be a different feeling when people actually know the song and know the parts and they've listened to it and then they come see it. I'm really excited to play that song.
Yeah.
I'm nervous to play the other one just because it's more complicated than any other song I think that we've written. And plus we've never played that live.
Yeah.
So in terms of the style that you guys are playing in, which is, would you consider it more on the progressive metal side? I know some people don't like having titles on their stuff, but is there any kind of different preparation that goes into gigs when you're playing that caliber of stuff, like more thorough sound checks, or how much more is the preparation for that kind of music?
Yeah, I would say it's progressive metal, but it's in the end, it's rehearsals and practice on your own. We practice pretty hard before shows.
We do practice a lot. We used to have the charts.
We used to have the charts, the evil charts.
The evil charts, right? So we like to have these big charts that we put on the wall, writing the name of the song, and just saying, okay, does the drummer have his parts? Does the guitar player have these parts? Do me, the singer, have the parts? And we just try to check mark everything, just as if you were about to record something, right? And you're done with the drums and you check it, okay, this song is done. It will be same thing, but for live, right? So is the drummer able to play the whole song without mistakes? Yeah, okay, you get your check mark.
But the check mark had different rows in it too. So there's not just one check mark. We've broken songs down into parts. Sometimes you can have 13 or 14 parts. So there's rows and rows and rows, and we name our parts so that that's between the bands. Some are really funny names, but we remember the parts that way. So we can point to the drummer, hey, do you know Camels on the Sky or something? And you'll go, ooh,
no, you don't get your check mark
today.
today.
Fucking check mark,
Today,
so
exactly.
go practice again, and that's how we sort of organize that.
Yeah,
everybody needs to be in to be able to perform
Yeah.
music.
When you guys are rehearsing as a band, do you have any I guess like unique exercises that you go through other than just like running through the song over and over?
I guess the exercises, the warm-ups that we do have, we do them by ourselves, right? Our place. We always say the same thing. You need to practice at home.
Yeah.
And then once you're at the rehearsal space, then that's a rehearsal, right? We're not at the rehearsal space to practice our parts or to
learn our parts or to show you your parts.
Right? Exactly. No, you learn that, you practice that at home. And for that, both of us have different exercises, guitar exercises, keyboard exercises, vocal exercises. But then once you're at the rehearsal space, that's left at home, right? Right there, you perform the song. And then, of course, we all mess up. We all make mistakes. And so then when we hear the mistake that just keeps repeating in a certain section, we'll just say, hey, you know what? Let's just work on that section again. Okay, now we have it. Now let's do the whole thing again.
Yeah.
Okay, we finished the song. Next song. We have the whole set ready. Let's do the whole set again.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4
set
times
again.
the whole set.
Yeah, and it's a fine line when you're practicing that intently, I imagine, too, to not get burnt out and start getting that brain fog and and going too hard.
Tired at the end.
Yeah, of course,
it's a lot.
It's tiring.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
But it's fun, and that's
Exactly.
that's how you play good on stages. If you don't have it at home, you're not gonna have it in a live situation.
Yeah,
Because
for
there's
sure.
so many different things, right, that are beyond your control. Sound guys not there, or the mix is not proper, or whatever it is. So that's why it's really good to be prepared at home.
Yeah.
Cool. So as far as the album goes, how did you guys come to a title name for it, and how did you find out or get that album cover set?
That's a good question.
That's a good one.
We spent, how many weeks did we spend trying to find out that title?
A lot.
A lot of weeks. We just lost count,
Yeah.
right? We of course we had all the songs pretty much ready and the lyrics ready, and we always think like, the lyrics will tell you the title of the album, and like in a way the whole album is it's just one story, it's just one big story about this character that we have called Mr. Loomis. and he's going through a lot of stuff in his life, right? His childhood, and then later on in his teenage years, and his adult life, and so on. So we just try to think about the main idea of the album, the main story, and try to come up with a title. So we came up with a bunch of ideas.
And that didn't stop, from us releasing the album. We started thinking about the title maybe 6 months ago or something, and then for a month we stuck with something, and then this doesn't sound right anymore. Then finally it was getting closer. Then we found this one, and we were both really happy with it. So
yeah.
So then, if it's more of a concept album too, and you're writing it, are you kind of writing the music itself and then having the lyrics fit into that, or is it kind of the other way around, or are they kind of developing both at the same time with the songs?
Like usually the way we work is music first, right? We tend to write a story first. We tend to storyboard it. So I sit here with Omar, and they was okay, what are we gonna write about? Oh well, let's write about well, our character Mr. Loomis is going through this thing because in the previous song it was going through this other thing, exactly. Right? So now he's at the asylum, and he's at the asylum, and so we need to drag him into the asylum, and he's getting checked in, and he's getting pushed, and we just visualize all these things, and we just write it down. Then we started writing music for that. Okay, how does it sound like to be pushed into an asylum, right? How does it sound like to imagine things happening around you? And so we write the music. And well, in this case, the asylum is instrumental, but it will be the same with the Darkness Within. It was the same thing, story, music, and then we just add the lyrics to the music.
But when we're writing the music, we sort of have the subject of the song, so we know what we're going to write about. So we get these ideas from parts that we write. So every single part is going to have a name on it, and those names actually tell us what the part is about, and then the lyrics sort of come out of that. And we talk about it a lot as we're going through, and we write it down, we record stuff and video and everything. So lots of data to go through, and going back and talking within us again, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Did you guys start off writing like knowing that you want it to be a concept album when it's done with a character and a storyline throughout, or did it kind of turn into that as you went along?
I
think turn into it.
Turn into it after the EP.
Yeah, because on our first EP, Loss of Contact with Reality, that's when we kind of started introducing Mr. Loomis. Right? And it was just an EP, it was just 3 songs. It's not really supposed to be a concept anything, but we were just talking about this guy. The thing is that for this full album, for the Uninvited King, initially we had the idea of bringing the 3 songs from the EP into this new, re-record the songs, redo everything, just do it all over again, bring it into the full album. Later on, we decided why do that? There's no point in just repeating the songs again. Let's just write new stuff.
Who wants to record the same song again?
Exactly. Who wants to listen to the same song again?
Recording pain in the ass anyway.
That's it. So because we already had that idea, even when we let go of those 3 songs and we started writing new material, I guess Mr. Loomis just got stuck in our heads, and that's it. Then everything was just around. Everything was about Mr. Loomis, and that's why it just turned into a concept album without us really wanting it to.
So, is your band name connected to that storyline at all, or what's the backstory behind that?
The story with Heyoka, that was another.
that was way at the beginning.
That was months and months and months of trying to find a name. But long story short, a Heyoka is a sacred clown from a Native American tribe in the States. I think they're from Minnesota, I believe, called the Lakota people. And anyway, in the tribe of the Lakota people, they have a jester, a sacred clown. And this jester is called the Heyoka. The Heyoka is supposed to have a mirror. And when you see yourself in the mirror, you can see who you really are, right?
How messed up you are.
How messed up you are. So, I mean, if you're a jerk, but you believe that you're the nicest guy ever, right? And you see yourself in the mirror, you will actually see yourself as a jerk. and then you'll decide, well, do I want to change who I am, because now I know who I really am. And so
or run away from this mirror.
Or run away from this mirror,
Yeah.
right? And that's it. In the end, with our music at the beginning, with the EP, and with this album, and probably with the rest of our music, we want to show people, look, this is what's happening right now in the world or in your life, and you should think about it, right? You should really think about how you're living your life and the decisions you make, and maybe you should make something about that and change it.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's nice when there's a lot of backstory and thought that goes into stuff like that, and not just a cool word.
Yeah.
So then, about you guys as a band, how did you guys come together and like meet, and when did you know that you clicked as musicians and wanted to make a band?
Good questions here.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, we met in 2015, and there's a funny story about that. You had moved from Montreal to here that year.
Yeah, I was living in Montreal back then.
He was in Montreal. He moved here in 2015. I wasn't doing anything. I was still playing. I've been playing for a while, so I just kept playing. I always wanted to do something, but the opportunity wasn't never there. So anyway, I get this message from this guy saying, "Hey, I came across your profile. Let's meet," or I don't know what she said, but it was a pretty long message. And so I looked at it and said, oh, I don't know, whatever. So
he ignored me. He completely ignored my message for like a week. Yeah.
And then it was one Sunday morning or something, and I said, okay, well, I'll have a look, whatever. So I saw one of his songs, his solo song, was called Poltergeist. And I was just, I was pretty impressed by the quality, the whole thing, the music and all that stuff. I just jumped out of bed and said, I should contact him and set up a coffee or a beer or something, just so we can go and talk. So yeah, we met at Dickens Pub. I think we got in touch soon after that, and then we met the first time. Sat there, had a beer, and then we decided on a date to just write, just get together and write. Just to see how the chemistry is, or if we hate each other, what it's about. We sat there the first time. I think that was it.
That was it.
We started writing, and
first note
on the F.
On the
F sharp.
It was F. Natural F. And yeah, we started writing that first day. We started writing the first song that ended up being on the EP, and both of us are huge Dream Theater fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right there. and I mean, you can jam with another musician that likes the same band that you like, but still maybe their personalities different, right? Maybe you can get along. But with Omar, it was like, okay, we like the same band, we like the same ideas, we think the same way. This is what we want. This is how we think. This is how we want to make it, and everything was just like, perfect. So yeah, it just clicked, and that's it.
That's cool, because it sounds like a lot of bands, when they like big bands, when they talk about like when their first jam session was and they had that distinct, they knew it, or there was a real click where they knew for sure. So it sounds like you had a similar kind of experience.
Yeah, we started writing, and it was just writing. Okay, we're gonna do this with EP, album, this and that. It just started. It just never stopped. So
yeah. And it says in your Spotify bio that your first show was a talent competition, and that's 2015. That's, you said, the same year that you guys got together, so pretty short time frame. How was that show? Is it kind of nerve-wracking with the stuff you play?
I think we only had 2 songs.
I think we only had
2 songs, but that was the only thing we needed, because one song was 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
And the other song was like 8 minutes.
No, we had 3. We had time manager too.
That was by the finals.
Okay. So we wrote another song just
we were
going through
just
the round.
because we needed one extra one.
That's right.
But it was really cool. Yeah, it was the first time we were playing together.
It was fun.
And it was the talent show, and we went through the preliminaries, and then we got into the
It was
finals.
like 3 rounds or something.
Yeah, it was like 3 rounds. The last round was at the Gateway at Sate, and it was great, and like people loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
People like really liked us, and we were super happy about that. And it opened a bunch of doors for us. A few of the prizes was free time at a recording studio, which is where we've been recording now everything, Echo Based Studios, with Casey Lewis. And it's just a lot of connections, right? We started connecting with a lot of other bands, and we liked a lot of bands. A lot of other bands liked us, and we got a little following happening there. And I feel like,
and lots of learning.
And lots of learning, about
learning
like
on how to
shows
play
and
these
everything.
things live, these kind of songs, and that's when we really got seriously into practicing properly and rehearsals, and because you can't really otherwise do it properly.
Yeah,
so.
you can't be going off stage and just like, let's just have fun and let's see what happens.
No, that doesn't work.
No, you gotta work.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Are there any other shows that you guys have had since then that really stand out as important parts in your band's history?
What was it? Sorry, I missed that one.
Like, are there any other shows since then that you think really stand out as like particularly good performance, or anything that's really a big part of your history as a band?
I mean, we went to Banff a couple times, maybe 3 times. I mean, that was just fun, just because we got to go out as a band and stay the night and play these songs and hang out with other bands. I think that was a pretty cool experience. But otherwise, we've really played Distortion that used to exist that doesn't exist anymore. We played a bunch of shows there. There was a couple really good ones where I mean good ones was there was a lot of people there. From our standpoint, like a lot of people is like not a lot, but still there's people there, we're happy because we've played some empty rooms once in a while because you're new. That's fine. You do it and you do it to learn it, and that's fine. But
I feel like every show we had, it's been a good show. Doesn't matter the amount of people that we have. We've been lucky enough that we always attract new fans, right?
We'll always grow.
Yeah, people are always approaching us and saying like, "Whoa, that was amazing!" But yes, that show in Banff was pretty crazy. It was super late that night. It was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But people were going crazy and they loved us, and we were playing The Darkness Within.
Yes.
People really liked that song.
Yeah.
And so like
that was the most fun that I've had.
That was super fun.
It was sort of like a private event too. So it was a lot of people, but it was sort of private. It was really, really loud, pretty crazy. And
I feel like key moments in the band's history, maybe the very first show, the landmark event show, the competition that we had. After that, it's always good again because we get new fans, but nothing too crazy.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, I imagine once shows come back, that Darkness Within, the first time I heard that in math class when I should have been paying attention, my first thought definitely was like, it's gonna kill on stage. It's one of those ones you just see it. But anyway, for you guys, just as musicians, even before Heyoka's Mirror, do you guys have any like looking back on it, kind of funny like gig horror stories?
Before Heyoka's Mirror?
Or during, just any time, as as long as you've been playing.
When that broke a string, that was interesting.
Oh, when you broke the string. That's a good.
That's a good lesson to learn. So I bought a new guitar and it showed up the day of the show.
The day of the show,
and it's one of my favorites. I used this for recording and everything. It's the Ernie Ball Music Man, John Petrucci's JP15 or 16, I think it's 16. And I was like, the solid, everything's good, but that was not the best idea.
Well, Omar sends me a text, right? And he tells me it's here. And I'm like, dude, you gotta bring it to the show. Brand new guitar, bring it to the show. Yeah, should I? Yes, absolutely. So he brings it to the show. And this actually was kind of an important show because we were opening for.
We were at Dickens. I remember that.
We were at Dickens, and we were opening for a big band.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Serena, I can't remember.
Sinus?
Can't remember. But it was kind of a big show, and that's it, right? We just start playing.
Yeah, and I broke a string.
And then
right in the first song. And I was so confident that this guitar was, 100%. I didn't even have my backup pulled out and ready on a stand. Nothing. It was just like, I'm sort of struggling and put the guitar down. These guys are continuing. I'm pulling the guitar out of the case, putting a strap on it, cable in. And I missed like at least 45 seconds to a minute.
Maybe a whole minute of the song you missed.
So I was
exactly.
That was not fun for me.
No, but hey, we learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never take a brand new guitar to the show.
No, you gotta break it first.
Yeah, and don't listen to the vocalist when he says bring the new guitar to the show.
Yeah,
that's another lesson.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any pre-show or even like pre-rehearsal or writing rituals that you kind of go through to get yourself in the zone and prepared mentally?
Pre-writing, there's nothing really special. It's just like, and we'll come over, we'll just get together, relax a little bit, talk about whatever shit's going on. Okay, time to work, then we'll start writing. There's no real routine to that. But I think for me, before shows, it's just, somebody told me that if you chew gum, it relaxes your brain. It tricks your brain into thinking that it's relaxed or something. But so I always chew gum and lots of deep breaths and everything. We don't drink or anything before the show or smoke anything before the show.
Definitely not drinking with the kind of stuff you're playing.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
After the show, do whatever you want, but before the show, we're always 100% sober, ready to go, and just try and just relax the body and mind a little bit. That's it for me. I think that's pretty basic.
Yeah. Well, me as a vocalist, I have to warm up, right? I absolutely have to warm up first, to be, very gentle, very careful with my voice, with my throat, not drinking. I just can't drink anything, just water, right? I can't eat anything that is too greasy, anything that has cheese, anything that has milk, I basically just don't eat, right? I just like drink water, do my warm-ups, and be relaxed. I guess during our first shows, we were pretty nervous. I was super nervous. Mm-hmm. I wasn't doing the gum thing. So I was pretty nervous, but I just tried to relax and just go for it. But and same thing. I mean, I do have to warm up for guitar and for keyboards. The day off, even when we're there at the show and there's a band playing, take my guitar out and I just do warm-ups, get the fingers moving, and that's it.
Yeah, on the day of the show, I don't play the full set. I'll go through different parts and just warm up.
Yeah, same thing. I'll just warm up.
Because I think if the day of the show you don't have your parts, then why even bother?
Yeah.
So, the day of the show is just more preparation of, okay, well, is the pedal board ready? Is, my cables okay? All those details. So that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for doing this, guys.
That was awesome. Some really good questions too. So
yeah. You're super good, dude.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Do you guys have anything you want to plug or any merch people can go look for, or where they can find your music?
Well, you can find all of our music. You can find our new album, The Uninvited King, on pretty much every platform that you like: Spotify, iTunes, Wizard, the distro, whatever you like. You can find it anywhere, and you can buy the physical copies on Bandcamp, on our Bandcamp. Just search Heyoka's Mirror. And that's it.
Yeah, go check it out. I mean, if you're a prog fan, give it a try, because we put a lot of work into this one, and people who enjoy prog, we're getting some really, really good feedback from them. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks so much. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you guys in person on stage. I think that's going to kill that new album. But so, yeah,